So when you exist in this scarcity consciousness, there is a lot of fear, there's a lot of worry, which also translate to more negative energy in your energy field. So when that happens, that negative energy then attracts clients who resonate with that negativity to you. So you start getting difficult clients, you start getting clients who are bad paymasters. And because you're so afraid of not making that money from them, you put up with it. And so your abundance energy just keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking until you start to be in a suffering state, living from paycheck to paycheck, or feeling really insecure and unstable about your monthly income. So this money ceiling is like the income ceiling, whereby somehow your business is unable to cross this sort of monthly or annual sort of revenue. Okay? And usually what happens is that this amount of revenue you're making as an entrepreneur allows you to pay all your bills, to run your company, but not enough for you to be financially independent. So you feel like you still have to struggle, you still have to continue working, and that you have to put in a lot more effort in order to attract opportunities and make things work for you. Okay? And a lot of times it also presents itself in a lack of opportunity or useful relationships and resources that you can attract. Well, if you do not want to give your birth chart to be analyzed, you could also do a private reading with your birth chart if privacy is a concern for you. Okay? However, without actually the birth chart reading, while you will probably still enjoy 90% of benefit from the course, it's just that the 10% that you're lacking would be the understanding of your own potential and also how it compares to other people that are in the same workshop. For people who have concerns about giving their birth dates and time, don't worry, because first of all, we do not flash your birthday and time to the class when we're doing analysis, and the birth charts are in a parser format, so it's not that easy to tell what your actual birthday and time is. If somebody really wanted to curse you or cast a spell on you, they don't even need your birth chart. Nowadays, you can actually even do it simply through your picture. So in fact, it's far more dangerous for you to be posting your pictures on social media than for you to be giving your birth chart out. So a lot of abundance courses are very much like cookie cutter courses. So they teach you techniques and everything. However, what happens is that it does not tell you where is the baseline that you're starting from. What we do is that we help you to understand where are you starting from. And we help you to understand what are some of the barriers that you may need to break through for yourself in order to get to the level of success that you want. So it's not the same. So for example, for some people, making $1 million may be the ideal success. But if you're already have a net worth of more than 1 million, then that's not your idea of success anymore. So this course actually is helping you to focus on what your specific brand of abundance is, and therefore how it is that you can get there. I think when people talk about fate, sometimes they're talking about the things that you can't really change in your life. And in effect, the thing that you really cannot change in your life is probably your birth chart, because you can't change the birth date and time that you're born in, and you probably can't change your parents, who your parents are. Okay. Other than that, I really feel that you have full control over a lot of other things that are in your life. So everybody has different periods of 10-year luck, and this 10-year luck is very important because it tells you what would be most prevalent in your life during that 10 years. So what happens is that if you understand what that 10 years mean for you in terms of the luck, you can then look at how you could leverage it. So for example, if this 10 years of luck is good luck for you, then that means that you can take a bit more risk. If it's not good luck for you, then what you want to do is to depend on your hard work and not to actually leave anything to luck at all. Yeah. So when you actually do that, then you will realize that having the luck or not having the luck does not matter as much as you knowing whether you are in luck or not, because then you can choose your response. So no pain, no gain is a very extremist kind of like point of view, because it means that you totally don't you are denying actually the existence of luck. So that means that, for example, if you were to see $50 on the road and you pick it up, you then now feel that in order for you to keep that $50, you need to maybe be injured, or you need to suffer some pain for it. Okay, and this is actually an unrealistic kind of like idea, because there is no need to suffer for every single thing. Instead of no pain, no gain, I would say that while it is inevitable to have some pain, but I think the real philosophy we should be following is least pain, most gain. So you may need to do something, like you have to put in some work, but that work should exponentially translate to success that should not be equal to how much work you put in. Yeah. So that would then help with a more moderate point of view, and a view which then allows the concept of happiness, because otherwise no pain no gain will mean that you actually, in order to be successful, you totally would not have happiness. Okay, so I think feeling discouraged or unmotivated, or like even having failures and all, are part of sort of like life. Okay? However, it should not be a constant state of your life. Because if you want to not waste your time on this earth, then what you really want to do is to take things like discouragement, lack of motivation, procrastination, as part of your life, but also as temporary states, whereby there is an opportunity to get out of it. Again, because if you continue to exist in this kind of a state, you're likely to have depression, or worse, to have a life of suffering. And if you ask yourself, you're here on this earth, maybe 70 years, 80 years, do you want to spend that 70 or 80 years enjoying your life, or do you want to spend that 70 to 80 years in a state of suffering? When you ask yourself that, the answer becomes clear. While you may not care very much about money, but it's undeniable that in our modern society, you do need some amount of money to live. So, but while you may not need large sums of money in order to be able to have that freedom that you want, you do want to have the money come in easily enough so that you can still live and create and have the freedom that you want, and you're not beholden to anybody else. For a lot of people, the concept of abundance is somewhat vague. So they choose to actually look at abundance as monetary gains or material gains. Okay? However, abundance and wealth in the form of like money is actually pretty much similar sometimes, because they are just all forms of energy. So money is also a form of energy. That's why money can come in and then it can flow out. That's why we talk about sometimes about money sort of leakages. And it's also really interesting because when you're abundant, your money flow naturally increases like as well. So for example, people who are in especially like in my business where we do a lot of healing and coaching and energy work, when you are abundant, your referral does not stop. People just keep referring other people to you because your energy is open and you're allowing money to flow into your life as well. So that's why it's important to learn to see money not as a static resource, but really as a flow of energy.